Welcome to Buffalo Against the World.
This is Buffalo Against the World.
Fans out there, what do the Chiefs have that the Buffalo Bills do not have? Okay. Now, we're not talking about coaches. We're not talking about rings. Okay. So subtract the coaches and the rings. We're going to open up the phone lines in a bit. But right now, tell us in the chat room, what did the Chiefs have roster-wise that the Buffalo Bills do not have? Go ahead, Cuz.
They have Patrick Mahomes and we don't. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be honest. That pains me to say it. That pains me to my core to say that. But I'm just, you asked the question, I gotta answer it. They have Patrick Mahomes. We don't have him on our team. That's why they win. It's not Travis Kelce. It's not their offensive line. You said we couldn't mention coaches. So the answer to that question is they have Patrick Mahomes. We have Josh Allen. If you switch those two dudes, I don't know what happened. I'm not gonna say what happened, but they have Patrick Mahomes. We don't.
I agree. Look, man, and I've gotten to debates with many people, many of our own Bills fans who, yes, we believe in our team, but we accept reality for what reality is. It's just another mindset. It's a championship mindset that this young man has. He doesn't care. He didn't care before he became a champion. He didn't care. He didn't care when he played against Brady. You know what I'm saying? And that loss actually helped propel him to where he is today.
Right.
When he barely lost to Brady, need I mention. So unfortunately, Josh is not yet where Patrick Mahomes is. Physically, yes. He do just about everything, and Josh can make any throw. Patrick can't make every throw. Okay. Josh literally, when it comes to physical specimen, he's a better physical specimen than Patrick Mahomes. But it's the mindset. It's the championship pedigree, the mindset of you're in my way. I don't see you because I'm too focused on that end zone. That's the difference between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen right now. There's other distractions going on. There's been over the past few seasons. Possibly Stephon Diggs was one of them. But Patrick Mahomes, he didn't let that distract him. When they got rid of Tyreek Hill, he was like, great player. We won a Super Bowl with him. Much respect, much love. But I can do this without you. And he did it, 1, 2, 3 times?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, it is what it is. And he hasn't, not saying Josh doesn't have the potential to get there. I believe he does, but he hasn't been there the past few years. Hopefully he gets there. Chris Jones was mentioned too. What do you think about Chris Jones?
I think he's a great defensive player, but I mean, we have defensive players on our roster that are just as good. But let's just be honest. Patrick Mahomes is a different animal. They changed a rule because of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like, he gets the ball, I'm afraid. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. He gets the ball last, I'm afraid. And it's time and time again, we see why. We see why I'm afraid. Josh Allen get the ball, he might throw an interception and give it to the other team. Patrick Mahomes has the ball, I'm afraid. So it's that Jordan factor, like, keep him off the field. Josh Allen doesn't have that yet.
Josh Allen is literally better than every other quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
He is literally better than every other quarterback in the NFL. And I can say that with confidence. But this guy, it's the mindset. It's and this is why I'm so big on adding champions to your roster, because they bring an aura, a pedigree. And we have that. We got Von Miller. We had Mitch Morris, who won a championship. But I cannot sit here, and probably coaches matter too. You know, when you have coaches on your team who've won championships. Before Andy Reid won a championship with the Chiefs, I mean, he was constantly in these games in the NFC with Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb, and they were in championship games. He was in Super Bowls. I mean, Sean McDermott has been in a Super Bowl. And he didn't win at that time. Andy Reid did not win at that time. So championship pedigree matters. The mindset matters because sometimes a player can make it about themselves and the other player instead of my team versus your team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think sometimes Josh can get caught up in that. Cincinnati game, he was looking past Cincinnati and thinking about the Chiefs, clearly. And what happened? Joe Burrow drilled you. You right at home. You know, so we have to get back to that Buffalo Bill pride, where if you play us in Buffalo, in the snow in December, like it's going to be brutal for you. We can't continue to lose in the playoffs.
That's not enough. It's not enough anymore. It's not enough anymore. I'm sorry. That whole mystique coming in here in the wintertime, it's not enough. It was not enough to take the Chiefs down last year. It wasn't enough to take down Cincy the year before. I'm just being real. This year is not gonna be our best year. It's gonna be I don't want to say it's a rebuild until the following season, but that's kind of what it's looking like. I'm just being honest. Here. I don't know where we're going in the draft. We'll see after the draft, but this year is going to be real painful. It's going to be painful. The Jets are better now. They have Aaron Rodgers back. I don't know if that's going to really work. We'll see. They have a talented roster. Miami's coming back. They have a talented roster. Houston is awesome. Don't forget about the Ravens. This year, it might not be our best year. Unless we can find a way to knock off Kansas City. That whole play Buffalo in January, that whole thing is out the window now. Like I don't even have that anymore. It worked against Pittsburgh. It worked against Miami. It worked against the Patriots. It didn't work against Cincinnati. It didn't work against Kansas City. So I think that whole pride thing is out the window now.
Yeah, until we restore it. Bob, second half adjustments. This is very, very true. I mean, we were up in that Kansas City game halftime, right? I mean, halftime adjustments, and we've seen this throughout the season, Cousin Brad. And I always say this when it comes to a season. A season is preparation for what you're going to see in the playoffs. That's really what it is. You need to win enough games in the season to get you to the playoffs. You don't give all you got to the season. You win just enough games, and this is why I mentioned we got to take hits off Josh because we need him for that playoff run to be healthy and to be energized, right? And that's but also second half adjustments, coaching. Now, we're not talking about the rings between Andy Reid and Sean McDermott. Talk about second half adjustments. This is something that Sean McDermott has struggled. We come out, we're dominating, right? They go to halftime. Teams have went to halftime and switched it up on us, and we didn't know what to do. That's low football IQ. That's low football IQ.
And you know what it comes back to? Let's just be real. We were afraid Patrick Mahomes was going to beat us in the second half. That's exactly what he did. That second half, it was a chess match. We were up. We were playing afraid. We said, okay, we don't want him to beat us. We don't. Anybody else beats us, that's fine. We don't want him to beat us, and we ended up beating ourselves. We didn't factor that in. So that's one of the things. That's one of the things. He said, okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead. He got here. He got the ball. We got the ball back. We're going to drive down the field. We're going to kick a field goal. We didn't want Patrick Mahomes to beat us, and we ended up beating ourselves. That's that factor that they have that we don't. We were so afraid of him beating us, we wanted to tie the game rather than win it. We run into the disconnect because, we don't have Diggs. You don't have to force him the ball. But now Josh has got to play a lot of hero ball. I'm just calling a spade. Like Curtis Samuel, Ohio State guy, he not Stephon Diggs. Love Khalil Shakir. Hope he has a bright career ahead of him. He's not Stephon Diggs. Love Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Both of those dudes are proven players. They're not Stephon Diggs either. So Josh is going to have to play a lot of hero ball. So, I mean, Joe Brady's going to have to scheme something together to say, okay, let's let everybody else pick up the slack to where we don't have to worry about Diggs, just like the Chiefs did when they had to worry about Tyreek Hill anymore. Because they didn't fall off. They didn't have a dip. They went right back to the AFC Championship the next year. So
and that's a system.
yeah.
That's what a system does, a plug and play system. You keep your core together, right? And your system is so good and you trust in your system so well. Bill Belichick did this for many years that, hey, if your system works, and that's another thing about Diggs, I don't believe he believed in the system anymore. So, and the system changed midseason last year. So we're this reset. These guys are coming into a system and they have to get ingratiated into the system. So I think that's going to be better for the Buffalo Bills. And everybody's saying Patrick Mahomes, that they agree that Patty Mahomes is the difference between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, so if you want to have some thoughts on anything that we talked about today on the show today, please give us a call at 1-515-602-9694, and we'll love to take your comments before we wrap it up here. Cousin Brad, got a call right here. Let's take a call. 716-208. You are on Buffalo Against the World with Kulu and Cousin Brad. Talk to us about what's your thoughts on what do the Chiefs have that the Buffalo Bills don't have roster-wise? What's your thoughts?
Hey, what's up, y'all boys? This is D. How y'all doing?
What's good, D?
What's up, D? What up?
Yeah, what's going on? I see y'all still do y'all thing, man. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thanks, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bro. The obvious answer is Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people are probably pointing to Andy Reid, but when we talk about players on the field, right now Mahomes is in his Jordan era. He's in his bag. So what we have to do is we focus on it before. We made a run at him. It didn't work. Mm-hmm. We have to retool ourselves, get ourselves back straight, so then we can compete with Patrick Mahomes again. Because right now, there is no team in the NFL that's ready to compete with the Chiefs.
The AFC's catching up, man.
Right. All right, we got another caller calling from this 716-553. Welcome to Buffalo Against the World with Kulu and Cousin Brad. Talk to us.
Kulu and Cousin Brad. How y'all doing, man? This is good to see y'all face in the place.
My brother, what's going on with you?
Thank you very much.
Slow lane. You know what I mean? I know you probably don't remember me, but hey, you know what? I used to talk with you in the hallway of this school over there off of, what was it, Worley or something like that, with my little boy Vincent, you know. But good to see you, man. Good to see you and all the stuff that you've been doing, man, and educating everybody on TED and everything else, you know. But now back to the subject at hand. Here we go.
Appreciate you.
Josh Allen. All right. I'm going to get a whole lot of people, man, that's going to call you up and they're going to say, what's the matter with that dude? You know, he ain't a real Buffalo Bills fan and everything else. But, you know, this is how I look at it. I try to get the big picture, all right? I see whenever anything happens, like over on Hurdle, they had Josh Allen jumping over one of the street signs, all right? They got, during the eclipse, Josh Allen jumping over the moon, okay? It seems to me like people are just building him up so much. It's like Josh Allen is God's gift to Buffalo, New York, and football in general. With all these other players gone, and with your boy McDermott last year saying, this isn't going to be like we're tearing the whole team down and a rebuild, all right, but look exactly what he did. Now, it's all about, can you even put Josh Allen in that same category as Patrick Mahomes? Mahomes has been to a Super Bowl. Allen hasn't been to a Super Bowl. Yeah, he's gotten close, but the thing is, when it comes to the point in time when, hey, everybody's got to be clicking on the same page, all right, it all comes back to the quarterback, so they say. And I think that's one reason why your boy Diggs pulled up out of the area because he, like a lot of other players, hey, they're getting older. They want that ring. And I look at it like this, and I talk with people all the time about this one. When it comes to Von Miller, all right, they should have let him go because Vaughn is telegraphing. He wants to be Brandon Beane. He wants to learn how to go and sit upstairs and pick people out. He's not ready. He don't want to play no football no more. So, I just wanted to get my little 2 cents off and, hey, man, do your thing. I'm going to be sitting back listening to you, man. And, hey, you're doing good.
Thank you, my brother. I greatly appreciate you, man. Man, listen, that's a very interesting perspective there, Cousin Brad. This is going to be our last call of the night, 716-940. You are on Buffalo Against the World with Kulu and Cousin Brad. And I know tensions is hot, but make sure we don't have any profanity on this show. So please keep that out of it. What's your thoughts?
Hello, everybody. It's Joey Hatch again.
Joey, what's good, my brother?
Joey.
12th man.
Always a pleasure.
I just got to throw a little something out there now. Josh Allen, come from a small town, had no big stars around him, didn't get much publicity because he didn't have a lot of recruiting or anything like that. He, 1 star, I think he was, or something like that, right? Patrick Mahomes has been around big-time players his whole life. They have groomed Patrick Mahomes. He was around the Yankees when they were winning championships because of who his family was. He has been brought along for a long time. Josh Allen had none of that. So if we're talking about players, my player is Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones. Because if Chris Jones did not bull rush Dawkins into Josh Allen, that would have been a touchdown to Shakir. So that's my defensive player. Offensive player would be Patrick Mahomes because he's been groomed for this and Josh hasn't had that chance in his life. Now, am I saying Josh cannot get there? No, I'm not. Josh is way physically more talented than him. He just does not have the accolades as of right now.
I love that call. Beautiful call. Thanks, Joey. We appreciate you. Listen, yep, I love that call. And I always love when Joey calls. But
shout out to him. Always a pleasure.
We